Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah ta'ala, we have reached to the hadith number 34 of the series of 40 hadiths of Imam An-Nawawi. And as we mentioned before, that this collection has 42 hadiths, so we are almost near to the end. Inshallah ta'ala, in next few weeks will be to the end of the hadith series of the 40 hadiths of Imam An-Nawawi, and then we'll have a summary of all the hadiths inshallah ta'ala in two talks, and then we'll try to get the best of the benefits from this collection that we have went through. So before we start, we'll go through the revision, because after a long time, I think probably 6 weeks, we're starting this hadith. So we'll just refresh my memory and your memory inshallah ta'ala with the hadith that we have done. So very quickly, we'll do the first 10 hadiths. As first hadith is obviously, they know innamal amanu bin niyyah, about the intention. Then the hadith of the Jibril. Then we have the 5 pillars of Islam. We have the hadith from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, that the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator, and how he creates from a drop of fluid to a baby in the womb of the mother, and also the matter of the destiny, that not only he knows the matter of the destiny. Then we have the hadith from Aisha radhiyallahu anha, that the bid'ah, the invention is rejected in our deen. We have the hadith about the halal, haram, and the doubtful matters, and also that if your heart is pure, everything is pure. If heart is corrupted, everything else will be corrupted. Number 7 is religion is nasiha. So ad-deen nasiha, and nasiha here means the sincerity. To sincerity to who? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and at the end to our brotherhoods, to our social community, and to our all the brothers among us. Then we have the hadith number 8, where Rasulullah been ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fight against the people until they say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. But this hadith has a context, as we discussed when we went through this hadith. Number 9, avoid the prohibition and follow the commandment. Rasulullah said, avoid the haram, that I told you this is haram, and do your best to follow the commands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and through him, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command. Then Allah is pure and He accepts only pure only. And here Rasulullah give an example of a man who's making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but his clothing was haram, his food is haram, his upbringing was haram, so his dua won't be accepted if everything, all of this is haram. The next 10 hadith, we have the leave the doubtful matter, it's again the matter of the heart. Leave alone what is not concerned. So leave the matter that is not concerned. Don't poke your nose. Laugh for your brothers what you laugh for yourself. So that's the hadith for the brotherhood. A Muslim blood is only allowed only for 3 cases. A married man who is an adulterer, a life for a life, a qisas, and also if a person accepted Islam and then he leave Islam, he became a murtad. Then we have the speak good and honor the neighbors and honor the guest if you believe in Allah and the last day. So these are the 3 things that you do. Then one of the Sahaba asked Rasulullah advice, and he said, do not be angry, do not be angry, and do not be angry. He then said, verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has enjoined ihsan. So Allah is ihsan, Allah is the perfect, and He likes to be asked to be ihsan. And here in this hadith he mentioned that when you do zabiha, when you kill the animal, be nice and gentle with that, be ihsan with that one. Then we have the hadith that the fear Allah wherever you are, and also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala try to follow a bad deeds with a good deeds. Number 19, be mindful of Allah and you will find Him in front of you and to support you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the hadith number 20, this is a verse from the previous prophet, that if you have no shame, then you can do whatever you wish to do. Then number 21, believe in Allah and have istiqamah. That is another advice to a Bedouin who came to Rasulullah and say, Ya Rasulullah, give me some small advice, a short advice. And Rasulullah said, believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be steadfast in what you are doing. Then the question from Bedouin that he will only do the 5 times salah, he will fast in the Ramadan, he will consider halal as halal, haram as halal. This only these 3 things. And he asked, Ya Rasulullah, would I be able to go to Jannah? And he said, yes, you will be able to go to Jannah. And we said that zakah and hajj is not mentioned. Probably he is not eligible to do zakah, and maybe the hajj was not prescribed at that time. Then we have the purification is half of iman. At-taharu shatarul iman. In the same hadith, Rasulullah said, the sadaqah will be your burhan. The salah is your light. And on the day of judgment, Quran will talk for you or against you, depending on how you deal with the Quran in this world. Quran will be a witness for you. Then we have the hadith Qudsi. In that hadith, Rasulullah said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "O my servants, I have made injustice unlawful for me and unlawful for you." And then he said, if you are hungry, ask food from me. If you are thirsty, ask water from me. I am the one who's going to give you, and the other advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 25, we have every tasbih and takbir and tahleel is a sadaqah. This is the story of, when some poor Sahaba came and they said that the rich ones are doing a lot of good deeds by doing sadaqah. They are praying like us, they are fasting like us, and also they are doing sadaqah, but we cannot do sadaqah. Then Rasulullah mentioned that all these things, the tasbih, tahleel, and alhamdulillah, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, these will be counted as sadaqah. Then every joint need a sadaqah, and we said, the 2 rakah of, Salatul Duha or Ishraq, and we say that will suffice the sadaqah for every joint of our bone. Number 27, the righteousness is the good character. So a good character is the righteousness. It's very important to have a good akhlaq. Then number 28, have taqwa and hold fast to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Khulafai Rashidin. This hadith, as we mentioned, that this was probably the end of his lifetime, Rasulullah, as he mentioned to the Sahaba that as a last sermon that hold tight to the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and my sunnah and the sunnah of my Khulafai Rashidin. Then number 29, a deed which will take me into the Jannah, that question asked by Mu'adh ibn Jabal, where Rasulullah mentioned the 5 pillars of Islam, the 5 fara'id of Islam. Then he mentioned the nafil prayer, the nafil fasting, reciting Quran, praying tahajjud, all these things are the matter. And in that hadith, at the end he said, all this matter, the head of the matter is Islam, and the body of this is the salah, and the topmost part is the jihad. And to controller of all these things, and then he hold his tongue, he said, the tongue is the controller of all this matter. So, O Muaz, hold tight to your tongue, make sure you use it properly in the right way. Then we have the hadith number 38, where Allah prescribed the obligatory matters, that Allah did some obligatory matters that we have to follow. Then number 31 is the hadith of the austerity, the juhud. So if you do juhud in this world, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. Number 32, there should be neither harming people or harm people, meaning you should not harm anybody and you should not be harmed by anybody. It's a social hadith. Basically, we should deal with this thing that we should not harm anybody, and if somebody is being harmed by another person, we should try to stop that as long as we have the ability to do so. Number 33, the last hadith that we did, where people to give it according to the claim. So when people do some claim, this is a hadith about the Islamic justice. If someone claims something, it is upon him that he bring the proof. And to deny that, the defendant can take oath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we discuss this hadith as per we go through this one. Now today's hadith, this is another short hadith but very, very important hadith. And this hadith, I believe, is familiar to all of you. You have heard this hadith in many lectures, and this hadith is from no other than Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. We'll talk about him a little bit. We already talked about Abu Sa'id al-Khudri in hadith number 32, that he was an Ansari. He was a very young child, during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a good memory, so he memorized a lot of hadith, and he is one of the 7 hadith narrators. We'll have those 7 names soon. Let's go through the hadith. This hadith found in Muslim and other books of hadith, Tirmidhi and Abu Dawud, and also in Musnad ibn Ahmad. The hadith says, when any of you see anything that is disapproved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Arabic word we mentioned here, munkar. So whenever you see, Rasulullah said, whenever you see a munkar, let him change it with his hand. And if he's not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue. And if he's not able to do so, then let him change it with his heart, though that is the weakest kind of faith. So inshallah ta'ala, we'll go through quickly that what does these phrases means, and how this scholar understand this hadith and what they wrote about this. Before that, let's go through the 7 most these are the 7 Sahaba, as we mentioned last time, that we should keep remember about this Sahaba, because we are going through a hadith series, and these Sahabas are the 7 most narrator of the hadith. Abu Huraira, the first one, as you all know that, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Aisha bint Abu Bakr, the wife of Rasulullah and our mother, Abdullah ibn Umar, the son of Umar ibn Khattab, Jabir ibn Abdullah, he was also a very young Ansari, Anas ibn Malik